Ever get that feeling, when a song just hits you? Like completely different, completely new. That's Joaquín Calderón. He's the guy taking sounds we think we know and boom, makes them sound like nothing you've ever heard before. So that's what we're diving into today. That's Joaquín Calderón, why everyone's talking about him.
We've got some really cool stuff to work with today. It goes way deeper than your typical, like, here's what they've done kind of thing. Gets into that spark, what drives a guy like Calderon and how that translates to techniques, to an actual sound, to a whole new way of thinking about music. You ready for this?
Yeah, absolutely. I think what gets me about Calderón is he's not just following the trends, he's setting them.
That's the thing. And our source really gets into this idea of passion and how versatile he is. But, like, those are great words, but what do they actually mean when you're talking about the pressure cooker of music production?
Think about it. You're in the studio, right? Long hours, take after take, gotta find that perfect sound. The passion. Well, that's the engine. That's what keeps you going. That's that thing that pushes you to find that sound. Versatility, though, that's your, I don't know, your Swiss Army knife. It lets you move between like salsa and electronica. You know what I mean? You get the little things in every instrument, connect with anybody. It's a whole musical language.
So it's more than just the buttons and knobs. You're saying it's got to be something you feel.
Exactly. And that leads us right into this whole signature style thing, which is where it gets really interesting. I mean, the source talks about his insane ability to blend genres. Like, it's no big deal, but keep that soulful core.
Okay, now we're talking. I feel you. But for someone who, just listens to music, what does that even sound like? Give us an example.
Okay, picture this. You got this track, right? And it's got the energy of EDM, like you want to dance, but then it's got this warmth to it, like live instruments, like real raw. It could be like these pulsing synths, and then bam, a vintage Hammond organ just cuts in. Or you've got this driving beat, but underneath there's strings and they're just soaring. That unexpected combo, that's Calderón.
Gotcha. But what about that soul? I mean, it's easy to say soulful, but how does someone actually put that feeling into music?
It's about finding those raw emotions. Like, instead of making the vocals all perfect and polished, he might keep in a breath, right? Or something that most producers would edit out. Those tiny imperfections that make you feel something real.
He's creating a feeling, not just a sound.
Huh?
I like that. And the source mentions he's worked with some pretty diverse people. Like, what kind of range are we talking about?
It's crazy, right? You got, on the one hand, these huge stars, Grammy winners, the ones at the top of the game. And then on the other side, he's working with these up-and-coming artists, the ones who are going to be huge, you can just tell. The fact that he can do both, that says a lot.
It's like he can make a gourmet meal or, like, the best grilled cheese you've ever had. And speaking of which, our source talks about his techniques, how he blends old school and new school approaches. What's that about?
That's Calderón. He bridges the gap between, like, the Beatles and Billie Eilish. He might use analog recording, right, which is old school. Think old microphones, mixing boards, and that gives it that warmth, that organic feel. But then, boom, he's got it in the computer, adds effects, uses software to create space. It's kind of wild.
He's not afraid of the future of music, but he clearly respects the history.
And that's what makes him a game changer, which, honestly, is a term I hate, but with him, it's true.
I gotta ask, why? I mean, how is he actually changing the music industry?
He's changing what a hit is. Think about name of song by name of artist, not your typical top 40 song at all, right? But he took these Latin rhythms, mixed in electronica, and the vocals, man. Soulful doesn't even begin to describe it. That song just blew up. And it proved something. You can innovate and still be successful.
So it's bigger than just the songs. He's actually impacting how other artists and producers make music.
100%. They see what he's doing and they're like, wait, we can do that?
You got it.
He's raised the bar for sure.
That's huge. Now, what's next? Anything about upcoming projects in the source?
Unfortunately not. They're keeping that quiet. But looking at what he's already done, it's gotta be big. He could be messing with AI music tools maybe, or pushing those boundaries of like immersive audio, 3D sound, that sort of thing. Or, and I kind of love this idea, maybe he'll do a film score.
A Calderón film score. Sign me up. All right, listeners, something to think about. What was the most interesting thing about Calderón's way of working? Could you use any of that in your own work? And I don't mean just music, right? It's about passion, it's about trying new things, and it's about sticking to your vision, whatever that is.